Yeah, I'm happy. I'm not leaving. The cult.
We're not leaving the cult. We're in the cult forever.
Yeah.
They think they can leave.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Cheryl Ilienko. Today's episode is dedicated to her. No, Brenda's hardly got any content on you. Like who you are at your core, like what you believe in, why you're at Fen. What was your journey here?
What was my journey here?
No, he'll interview you later. You don't have to do it right now.
Yeah, I was like, oh god. Whoa, let's plan that out.
Isn't it weird to like be in a vet clinic and then have a camera like 3 feet from your face?
Mm-hmm.
You knew about that before we started, right? Like,
Kind of.
I wonder if it's a deterrent to some prospective vets to apply.
I don't think it is if you... I really don't think it is if you honestly do believe in like what the mission of the clinic that you're working at is, because then you're supporting that and then you're like agreeing with that and you don't mind being a part of that. Just gave him an injection of dexamethasone and an injection of diphenhydramine just because he is having allergic reactions. So he has hives everywhere. We're not sure what he got into. But with any type of bully breed, I feel like it could be anything. Could be the air.
Could be it all.
Yeah, the air, the grass, a bug bite, like... Well, I think just because those are such a broad spectrum treatment, it doesn't really matter what it is, because whatever it is causing the same response in the body, so the drugs will combat it no matter what. Dexamethasone is a steroid, so that's going to help bring it down, and diphenhydramine is antihistamine. Yeah. So that will help, but we're going to keep him for a couple hours, monitor him, see how he does, and hopefully the hives go down.
Nothing?
No, not a lot of anything, so there's not a lot of bacteria.
Yeah, it's a dog that's in for a spay, and the owner was complaining about a swollen vulva, so Dr. Cheryl just wanted to do a vaginal swab and see at what stage of her estrus cycle she was in, but based on what we found, she's in anestrus. So I didn't take this course yet in vet school, so she was just giving me a short little intro as to what things are.
She's getting a spay. She is already had her first heat cycle. Just a normal, like, routine spay. She'll be considered immature just because of her age and the fact that she's already had her first heat cycle. She's cute. I like her. The sedation that we give, the pre-med, it can dry out their eyes, and we don't want them to get ulcers, so we just loop their eyes. It's good for them.
Well, she doesn't look like she's necessarily in heat. So something I learned in my first year was that sometimes we would see some females that like had very small vulvas that were actually hooded, and then if you allowed them, and we're seeing this now more than ever, where we're waiting until these animals are a little bit older because there have been some ties to different issues like degenerative joint disease and things. Whereas if we let them go through like a cycle, then the vulva will actually be a bit bigger, and it'll help alleviate some of that hooded vulva, which is kind of neat. Well, actually, it's funny because like the way I do things is a little bit different than how I was taught in school. So I remember in school we used to have to use our towel clamps. We had to have 4. I've changed this up. I find the towel clamps just get in the way. As long as I can kind of manage things relatively well and can still see things, I don't really think that I need 4 of them. So if any of my teachers are watching, don't judge me. I'm gonna make a bit of a bigger incision, and that's just because she's a bigger girl. And then once we're in, just guide that down. So I'm just gonna try and find her uterus, which I find in these big guys is actually a lot bigger than I'm ever expecting. I don't use spay hooks because I wasn't taught how to use them. In vet school, we weren't allowed. So I try to just find the uterus with my hand, which can take some time. Because they want you to feel the tissue and be familiar with what it feels like. We found it, so that's the important thing. But she definitely has a deeper chest. She doesn't look like she's in heat. So I'm gonna try to localize the ovary. So here, got this giant fatty ovary. And actually, there's all this fat, but like if you look, this is the ovary. It's covered in so much fat, but you see it's like poked out there. That's the ovary. This is not my first mature. I've probably done this like probably 15 times. I was very discouraged when I graduated because I didn't want to do general practice. I thought it would be boring. And then the thing I really realized is that every spay is actually slightly different. And so we try to be quick but efficient, because obviously the longer they're under, the greater the risk of complications like infection and things. So it's the most stressful part, dropping it down. So I'm going to hold on to it when I drop it.
So it's a laceration wound that happened about 3 days ago. Got caught in barbed wire, and it's just a really bad location for healing, just because of the way they walk and stretch and things. So the ER did what we call a tie-over bandage, which is essentially you put these loops of suture in here and then tie a bandage to the loops of suture, because you can't actually wrap it around the leg and get it to stay any sense. They didn't close it because it was just such a bad deep wound, and when they get bad infected wounds and you try to close them, they'll just open back up again and kind of dehiss everywhere. So we need to give the skin time to kind of declare itself and say whether it's gonna die on us, and then put the healthy stuff back together. I might try to close it depending on how deep it is once I start kind of poking around.
No, don't ever say sorry. You're good.
Oh, jeez, man, that's a pocket and a half. Yeah.
Last time though.
Yeah, are you gonna close it?
I think I'm gonna close it, and I don't think I'm gonna put a drain because it is pocketed, but I think I can just tack it all down. The tissue's still a little bit questionable. It's pretty purple around here, but it's not black. It could still go black, but it's been a few days now, so I'm just gonna be brave and close it anyway. The fear about closing it is that this is all gonna die, everything that's purple, and then your closure comes open, and they have to redo it. So that's why they waited on this, but I'm comfortable to close it, and he's already sedated. Oh, he gave me the biggest needle ever. I love it. So I'm just gonna go to the deepest hole and just do a little splash block around the area there. So all this tissue is damaged and probably won't heal. So if I take it off, it's more likely, with the fresh edges, it's more likely to kind of come together. Oh, this must be such a sore spot. I'm sorry, kid.
You'll feel much better once it's all good and healed.
So I'm going to take off a little bit of this. It's already been really well flushed and cleaned. Oh, it looks a little better already. It doesn't look like there's any muscle tears, which is good. It's like arts and crafts. You gotta figure out how to put them back together. It's not just this is the procedures. And you do it the same way every time. It's
You have to use your brain.
So I'm tacking this top skin, to the sub-Q underneath. And so it's flat, there's no pocket in there, so it's all tacked down. Oh, this is coming together beautifully.
It really is.
This is why they make me happy. You're like, this is gnarly. And then you look at it and it's it's actually coming together. Look, arts and crafts. Yeah. And it's just going together so nice. I'm so happy with it. So I'm cutting that skin off because it was a puncture wound there that I didn't see. So I'm just freshening up the edges, and I'll close this too.
It's super easy.
And then do you add it to their actual file or just on there?
I don't even think it goes that deep.
Number if it's not already on there, but I think.
Oh, it does. Never mind. Haha, just kidding.
Sorry?
It goes.
All the way through?
No, I can close it.
I'll make sure. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, take it.
I just wish I saw it earlier. probably. But these little ones are important too, because if you don't explore them, then this could abscess right here.
Just about to suture?
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. I just had to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, I'm just like digging around.
There's a third.
There's a third, so I noticed a small puncture wound here. And this is why you explore it, because even though it just looked like a small like dimple like this, when I stuck my scissors down there, it continues all the way up his side and down his knee. So this will definitely need a drain. So this is too deep for me to tack down, and it's just gonna pocket here really grossly. So.
Should we get a clipper and like shave that hair? Okay, I'm going down for a sec.
So, and then make a small little hole, pull your penrose through, just tack it once here, tack it twice here, and let it all drain and it'll close because the gravity will push it down.
Okay.
I'm so happy I felt that. I think I did. It was shocking when I went to grab his leg, and I was like, "What the?" It feels like as if like carb.
Oh, I'm gonna do this. I really don't.
So you have to get all this out.
No, I'm worried that it's pocketing down here.
Yeah.
So the skin is coming off of the rest of the tissue underneath. So there's a bubble between the skin and the rest, and so it feels like crunchy underneath. And so it's not going to heal if there's air between. There's no connection there. We need them touching each other to heal together. So typically you'll put a drain in so it drains everything out and they touch together. But it's so far down the leg. I've never had one that goes this far down the leg, so it's not ideal to put a drain in the leg. So I'm just going to pressure wrap it. So essentially the pressure wrap will keep the skin to the rest of the body and in hopes will heal. The leg up here, and you need the drain dependent, so it's kind of difficult to figure out where to put it because it's not ideal for it to drain on top of these sutures, but that's all I could really do with it. And now I have to pressure wrap it because I didn't want the drain coming out of the leg, so hopefully with the pressure wrap I can get rid of the air and just help it kind of heal.
Do you want him lateral?
That's my dream. So we'll see him back in 2 to 3 days to remove this and kind of reevaluate at that time. There is risk of this all falling apart because it's still pretty purpley, but it looks honestly fairly good. So then we'll pull that drain, and then the hopes is that the drain will get rid of all of this like air and fluid.
So the other way to do it, which is going to be closed, you can see I kind of went through that tunic, is
Just grab that and peel down.
essentially, so we're finding all of our vessels which are hidden in that tunic,
Yeah,
and then I grab right at the epididymis.
yeah. The tail of that epididymis.
Thank you. For the anatomy lesson. And then I'm just literally pulling that apart.
This is like when I did it, this was the most concerning because I felt like I was going too hard, but knowing that you actually have to go that aggressive
and I think in some ways too, it's you have to get a knack for it. There's nothing I want more than to see you like do this today and like just the happiness that you'll have. Like, I love surgery so much. Oh, I'm so proud of you. You did so good already. I wanted to be a teacher actually, so I thought it's kind of a bit of the best of both worlds in some ways. Yep, and then go under. Yep, perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So the thing that really attracted me to veterinary medicine was one, that it was animals. Obviously, it was people, which I absolutely adore and love. Like, I really do love people. I thought there was like nothing better than being able to explain like the science, which I also love, of animals to people. Like, I literally get to do that every single day, which I think is like the coolest thing in the entire universe. I think it's really fun with Vlad, who's the first vet student I've ever worked with as a vet. Because like Vlad's so receptive, which is really nice.